High upon the desolate slopes of Turkey's Mount Nemrut, ancient stone faces peer out over the landscape. These massive statues, heads of gods and kings, stand as silent witnesses to thousands of years gone by. They are guardians of a forgotten past, faces etched in stone that whisper stories of a time when myth and reality were inseparable. Who were these giants created to honor? Or perhaps they were meant to guard something far more mysterious, something hidden beneath the earth or locked within time itself. Welcome to Turkey's Mountain of Mysteries. Part 1. The Origins of the Statues. Turkey is a land where history is woven deep into the earth, from the ancient cities of Troy and Ephesus to the Neolithic ruins of Göbekli Tepe. Yet among all these wonders, few have captivated the human imagination like the towering stone statues of Mount Nemrut. Located in the southeastern province of Adıyaman, the mountain hides these immense figures within its stony heights. And while they have watched over the land for centuries, the story of how they were found is as astonishing as the statues themselves. It was in the 19th century, during an age of exploration and discovery, that explorers first stumbled upon Mount Nemrut's buried treasures. The statues lay hidden beneath layers of rubble and earth, partially concealed as though nature herself wanted them forgotten. But as explorers dusted off the earth, they began to realize that these weren't just relics of another time. They were symbols of something extraordinary. What makes these statues so intriguing is not only their size but the strange purpose behind them. Most historians agree that they were erected by King Antiochus I of Commagene, a small kingdom wedged between the Roman and Persian empires. But there's more to this story than simple royal ambition. Part 2. King Antiochus and his dream of immortality. King Antiochus I ruled the ancient Kingdom of Commagene, a small but strategically significant territory. A man of grand visions and insatiable curiosity, Antiochus dreamed of bridging worlds, of connecting East and West, blending the gods of Greece with those of Persia. This vision led him to build something no other king dared, a sanctuary on Mount Nemrut, a place where he could be remembered for all time. Antiochus claimed that by constructing these statues, he would join the ranks of the gods after death, becoming a celestial guardian of his kingdom. Each statue embodies Antiochus's vision, a merging of Eastern and Western mythologies. The faces of gods like Zeus, Heracles, and Apollo gaze out, flanked by figures of ancient Persian deities. And there, among them, stands Antiochus himself, his visage immortalized in stone as both king and god. But why here? Why build such a grand tribute on a remote, wind-swept mountain? The answer may lie hidden in Antiochus' beliefs. He held that Mount Nemrut was sacred, a bridge between heaven and earth. By building these statues in such an isolated and elevated place, Antiochus was carving his legacy not just into stone, but into the heavens. His sanctuary was meant to stand for all eternity, watched over by the divine faces he so admired. Part 3. The Colossal Challenge, Building the Giants. The statues of Mount Nemrut are colossal, with some heads reaching over 10 feet in height. Just transporting the stones to such a remote mountain would have been a Herculean task. So how did the ancient builders manage it? Some speculate they used sheer manpower, leveraging primitive tools and raw strength. Others believe they possessed advanced techniques lost to time, methods that even modern engineers would find challenging without heavy machinery. The stone used to craft these statues is native to the area, suggesting that they were carved directly from the mountainside. Each face was chiseled with precision, hinting at a skill that went beyond mere craftsmanship. These were artisans who understood the nuances of stone, capable of creating smooth curves and detailed features even with the simplest of tools. And yet, even with this skill, the process would have taken years, if not decades. But why go to such lengths? Why build these giants only to place them in a desolate mountain where few would see them? Perhaps, some say, they were never meant for human eyes alone. Perhaps these statues were intended for the gods themselves, or for something far older, lurking in the shadows of myth and legend. Part 4. Symbols and Secrets in Stone. The faces of these statues may seem expressionless, yet there's something deeply captivating about their stony gazes. Each figure is marked with symbols and inscriptions, telling stories of a forgotten past. Antiochus, it seems, left these as messages to the gods, inscribing words meant to echo through time. But these aren't mere praises or pleas for protection. They are full of cryptic references to secret knowledge. One inscription, known as the Inscription of Antiochus, reveals his desire to be remembered forever. He called upon both Greek and Persian gods, aligning himself with powers that transcended the mortal world. Some researchers believe these inscriptions hold hidden meanings, clues pointing to ancient knowledge that was never meant to be understood by human minds. They speak of cosmic connections, divine secrets, and whispers of an ancient prophecy meant to unfold in the distant future. Part 5. Theories and Unanswered Questions. While history books tell us that Antiochus built these statues, some say there's more to the story, more than a single king's ambition. Among historians and archaeologists, theories abound. Could the statues have been part of a sacred ritual site, one meant to open a pathway to the gods? Or perhaps they were a warning, placed there to guard against something waiting in the mountain's depths. Then there are those who go even further, suggesting that these statues are remnants of an even older civilization, one lost to time. According to this theory, Antiochus may have only added his own face to something far more ancient, an older monument dedicated to gods whose names are now long forgotten. If true, these statues might not just be remnants of one man's dream, but artifacts from an era that predates all known history. Part 6. Legends and Myths Surrounding the Statues. The giant statues of Turkey are shrouded not just in stone, but in myth, with legends passed down through generations. Locals tell stories of how King Antiochus was more than a mere mortal king. Some say he was chosen by the gods themselves, destined to become one with them after death. According to legend, these statues weren't meant to simply memorialize him. They were built to channel divine power, linking the earthly realm to the heavens. But why did Antiochus choose such an isolated place? Some myths suggest that Mount Nemrut was sacred long before Antiochus's time. Ancient peoples believed it was a place where spirits roamed, a mountain haunted by gods and forces beyond human understanding. It's said that on certain nights, strange lights dance over the mountaintop, and the statues seem to take on a life of their own, their expressions shifting in the moonlight. Are these merely stories, or could they point to something hidden beneath the mountain surface? Part 7. Inscriptions of Mystery, Codes and Messages. The inscriptions left by Antiochus on Mount Nemrut have baffled scholars for centuries. Known as the Nomos, or Law of Antiochus, these carvings detail the king's desire to be remembered and his dedication to both Greek and Persian gods. But to some, these inscriptions hold a deeper mystery, a code meant to hide secrets far beyond the king's era. Researchers have discovered that parts of the text appear almost like a puzzle, referencing cosmic alignments and sacred knowledge that predates Antiochus. Some symbols resemble ancient astronomical codes, possibly pointing to events or prophecies tied to the heavens. A few daring theorists even believe these inscriptions are part of an ancient map, guiding those who can read the symbols to a hidden treasure or a forgotten relic. Could it be that Mount Nemrut hides something more than stone statues? Something that only the gods, or those willing to risk everything, could uncover? Part 8. The Global Puzzle, Connections to Other Ancient Sites. The mystery of Mount Nemrut doesn't end in Turkey. Across the world, similar giant statues guard ancient sites, silent giants like the Moai of Easter Island, or the towering statues of Luxor in Egypt. The more one looks, the more eerie similarities arise. What drove ancient people across vast distances to carve these monumental figures, each imbued with the power of gods or kings? In particular, the heads at Mount Nemrut bear a striking resemblance to those on Easter Island. Though separated by oceans and centuries, both sets of statues exhibit an almost otherworldly presence, an aura that seems to transcend cultural boundaries. This has led some to speculate that an ancient global civilization might have spread knowledge across continents, teaching people how to build these enduring monuments. Others even suggest these civilizations may have been guided by beings from the stars, extraterrestrials who left behind clues in stone. Whether truth or myth, the connections between these statues spark questions about our shared past, questions that continue to baffle archaeologists and historians alike. Part 9. Theories of Lost Technology and Ancient Wisdom. One of the greatest mysteries of Mount Nemrut lies in the sheer difficulty of its construction. How did ancient builders transport such massive stones to an isolated mountaintop? Some archaeologists suggest that Antiochus and his builders may have used simple yet effective engineering techniques. Ramps, pulleys, and levers could have allowed them to move these giant stones, although such a feat would have required hundreds of workers and years of labor. Yet others wonder if more advanced knowledge was at play. There are those who believe that the ancient world had access to lost technology, methods of construction that have since disappeared from history. Some even whisper of a powerful energy source that allowed stones to be lifted as if weightless, like a forgotten form of levitation. Could it be that Mount Nemrut, like other ancient sites, holds the secrets of an advanced civilization lost to time? Or is this just an echo of our own fascination with the past, the yearning to believe that history holds more than we can see? Part 10. Sacred Geometry and Celestial Alignments. When researchers studied the layout of the statues, they discovered something remarkable. The arrangement appears to follow celestial patterns. Some statues align with the setting sun on certain days, while others face star formations that would have been visible in Antiochus's time. It's almost as though the mountain was designed as a sacred observatory, a place where gods and stars meet. The concept of sacred geometry, the idea that specific patterns and alignments hold spiritual power, runs deep in many ancient cultures. And Mount Nemrut seems to be no exception. Some suggest that by aligning the statues with celestial bodies, Antiochus was attempting to harness cosmic energy, hoping it would give him divine insight or even immortality. Did the king succeed in his quest, and does this mountain hold the energy of the stars themselves? Or was this alignment meant to act as a beacon, a signal to the gods or to beings watching from beyond the stars? Part 11. Paranormal Encounters and Modern-Day Mysteries. Even in modern times, Mount Nemrut continues to mystify those who visit. Local villagers speak of strange occurrences, of figures moving among the statues in the dead of night, and ghostly sounds echoing through the mountain air. Some say they've seen strange lights hovering above the statues, or felt an inexplicable presence watching them. Tourists and explorers alike report feeling a profound sense of unease at the site, as if the statues are alive, observing each visitor with silent judgment. A few have even claimed to experience visions, images of ancient rituals, glimpses of an ancient world that seems to bleed through the fabric of time. Is this merely imagination, the mind playing tricks? Or could it be that Mount Nemrut is a place where the veil between worlds is thin, where the past whispers to those who are willing to listen? Part 12. Theories on the purpose of the statues, guardians or warnings. Why were these statues built? Were they meant to guard King Antiochus's tomb, or could they have a darker purpose? Some believe that the statues serve as eternal guardians, protectors of ancient secrets buried deep within the mountain. According to this theory, they stand not just to honor Antiochus, but to shield something far older, something waiting to be discovered. Others interpret the statues as a warning, a signal to those who approach that they are entering a sacred, perhaps dangerous place. Could it be that Antiochus knew of something hidden within Mount Nemrut, something that should never be unearthed? Perhaps these statues were intended to remind future generations that some mysteries are best left untouched. Part 13. Conclusion. The Silent Guardians of Mount Nemrut. The giant statues of Turkey's Mount Nemrut continue to captivate and mystify all who encounter them. They are remnants of a time when gods and kings stood side by side, where myth and reality merged into one. Yet, despite the countless hours of research, the theories and the stories, the mountain keeps its secrets. We may never know the true purpose behind these statues or the mysteries they guard. But one thing is certain: they will stand, silent and watchful, as they have for centuries, keeping their ancient secrets hidden from the world. And so the statues remain, a monument to the unknown, a silent guardian of mysteries that may never be solved. But perhaps that's exactly as it should be. Some things, after all, are meant to remain a mystery.